There was a time not too long ago when Disney was not just a studio. It was the dream factory, a place where artists, animators, musicians, and storytellers flocked because it promised something sacred, creative possibility. Think back to the Golden Age. Snow White, the first full length animated feature. Fantasia, a surreal marriage of classical music and animation. Bambi and Pinocchio, films that pushed the boundaries of what art could be. Then came the Disney Renaissance. From 1989 to 1999, Disney roared back to life with an unprecedented streak of artistic triumphs. The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King. Each one crafted by teams of animators who drew until their hands ached and the voice actors would sing until the recording booths steamed up. They were films built on passion, experimentation, and a belief that creativity mattered more than quarterly reports. But Disney did not stop at animation. As the 2000s rolled in, the company began transforming from a studio into an empire. In 2009, they acquired Marvel, bringing an entire universe of characters under their umbrella. Only 3 years later, in 2012, they purchased Lucasfilm, Skywalker Sound, and Industrial Light and Magic, taking control of Star Wars itself. And then came the most aggressive land grab of them all, the fierce bidding war with Comcast for 20th Century Fox. It was a clash between titans, but Disney emerged victorious, folding yet another historic studio into its growing collection. For a moment, it appeared that Disney was positioning itself as the ultimate creative powerhouse, a home for stories big enough to shape culture itself. But somewhere along the line, that dream factory became something else. Today, under Bob Iger's leadership, many creatives describe the company in drastically different terms. A place defined not by innovation, but by corporate fatigue, aggressive cost cutting, strategic missteps, and at the center of it all, an accelerating dependence on artificial intelligence. Actors have voiced concerns about their likeliness being scanned. Writers worry about being replaced by algorithmic slurry. Animators, Disney's original backbone, have watched their department shrink while Disney's branding grows. Instead of ushering in a new renaissance, Disney seems locked in a cycle of nostalgia mining, franchise milking, and a deeply transparent formula that places shareholder satisfaction above artistic integrity. And for many in Hollywood and across fandoms, this is not just disappointing. It feels like watching a cultural cathedral hollow itself out from the inside. So, how did we get from the studio that once embodied imagination to a giant that is now associated with layoffs, loopholes, broken promises, and the erosion of creative labor? And what does this mean for the future of art, storytelling, and yes, even Star Wars itself? All of this and more on a Star Wars themed edition of the Fossil Files. But before we get to it, we want to thank our excavators for joining us. If this is your first time here, please become a bone in our skeleton by subscribing to us on YouTube and tell a friend about us. We also invite you to continue the discussion in the comments. And with that, let's dig into the episode. Happy Thanksgiving week, excavators. I'm Tracy.
And I'm Brian.
Welcome to episode 2 of the Fossil Files, where today we're discussing a topic that Brian chose. Brian, what's the topic of the day?
The hunt for Ben Solo.
The hunt for Ben Solo, and I did a bit of side research into what Disney's future plans are, and I have to say I do not agree.
Neither do I. As many Star Wars fans do not agree with that decision at all, including fans who actually didn't care too much for the sequel trilogy. It seems that there are fans out there who still wanted more of Kylo Ren's story, and certainly more of Ben Solo's story, as what we have of Ben Solo previously is what, like this prequel in the comic book, okay.
Which comic book?
I don't recall the title. I believe the comic book was Kylo Ren.
Okay.
And so it had about his early time with Luke Skywalker, and
Oh, you mean where he was training with Luke?
Yes.
Okay.
Where he's training with Luke. Where
more context.
They attempted to add more context. And so what do we get from Ben Solo when he comes back to the light? We get ow.
Ow.
Okay. He says ow. And gives a few different looks. Okay, his physical act, Adam Driver's physical acting as Ben Solo was good. Okay, as you see, him give expressions similar to his father Han Solo at certain points while he's fighting his former Knights of Ren colleagues.
Yeah,
including the part where Rey sends him the lightsaber
through like
their diet in the Force.
Well, I was going to make a joke about Force email.
Yes. Considering that they're in the Last Jedi, they were Force Skyping, right?
Right, and now they're sending attachments to each other through Force email.
Yes, attached is this lightsaber.
But before we roll into the main topic of the day, it has been a busy week for us, excavators. First of all, we have family in town because it is the holiday week, and it's been a lot of mental adjustment. A lot of these people I've never met before. So I feel like I have to be on my best behavior, and I don't especially like that.
Yes. And I remember before you got to the table, I found out that Taylor Swift was not exactly a great topic of conversation for these folks.
Dun, dun, dun! No, that's okay, though. Like, in true teamwork fashion, you did warn me.
Yes, I did.
And I appreciated that very much. That's what a supportive partner looks like, by the way. They help you avoid walking into traps.
Yes. People have unpleasant Thanksgiving week conversations with family they've just met or haven't seen in a while. And we advise y'all to just avoid that altogether and just have a good time and talk about what y'all mutually love.
Yeah, I try to stick to safe topics, but also because, I'm a neurospicy. If you ask me about my interests, you might be really sorry you asked about my interest. One of my interests that I can stick to is New Orleans history. Lived here for decades and grew up outside of the city, and I know a fair bit about the history overall. So that's always a pleasure to talk to new people about, for me.
Always, and give New Orleans food advice and how to safely traverse the French Quarter, stuff like that.
A lot of scam artists.
Yeah.
A lot of scam artists.
Yep.
Maybe I should do like a side episode about survival tips in the French Quarter for tourists or something.
Yeah, do's and don'ts.
That might not be a bad idea. If anybody likes that idea, leave a comment.
Yes, please.
And also we had something very exciting happen to us on Sunday, although technically it was in the works for a while before this. We are part of a large Southern fandom circle. And, so people who are, like, you've seen them for years. You know them, you see them all the time at different events. You see each other at conventions, movie gatherings. We go out to dinner together. But then there are some people that, like, they're in the circle, but you don't really know them very well. You just know who they are. And then sometimes that person that you've kind of been overlapping with for years, you, like, come face to face in a very meaningful way. And that happened, and that was very cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They, David DeCourier didn't really know who didn't really knew us, but didn't know us as the duo that had been sending in these David Ford BBC World Service reports for the last year that he's been airing on his show on WRNO 99.5 New Orleans.
What's the name of the show?
The Week in Geek.
The Week in Geek.
Yeah.
Yes. And I got to tell you, though, David, if you're listening to this episode, I really appreciate how you always bring the energy into that show. I never feel bored listening to you.
No, it's a great show. It's a great geek pop culture show, science fiction, superheroes, fantasy genre, video games.
And now, David, if you're listening, I'm going to make you cry. I was not expecting to have that conversation with you at Contraflow. And, you know, you really moved me in a very human way because I did not expect all of that depth underneath your brash personality. And now that I've embarrassed you enough, I'm going to stop saying it.
Yes, we had a good time last Sunday night recording a live segment that was on his show. It was live. It wasn't pre-recorded like our skits previously were, where I put on quite a performance as
David Ford.
As David Ford of BBC World Service.
You know, I really hope that David DeCorbier put the episode up, because if he did, I can include a link in the show notes.
I believe he did, yes.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll go look for it then.
Oh, yeah.
So if our dear listeners, our dear excavators would like to listen to the episode, or maybe you don't have all the time in the world for it, but because it is a 2-hour episode, but we are on in the second hour, yeah? The second hour of the show.
We're on the end of the second hour, yes.
Yeah. We actually got a pretty good chunk of time, too. I was surprised. About, what do you say, 12 minutes?
Yeah, it ended up being over 15 minutes because he decided to bump the Family Feud game that was going to be played by call-in listeners and people who showed up for the live broadcast remote.
So they bumped a segment for us. Where's our private jet? We're private jet worthy now, right?
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah.
No, but it is a very cool feeling, and we got announced like on the radio on our way there. We were listening to the show, and they were like, oh, we're about to have some very special guests come in, and so on and so forth. And also, I don't want to give it away, but if anybody wants to hear the David Ford origin story, it is in that episode of Week in Geek.
Yes, and David Ford engages David DeCorbier during his latest investigation, which I won't spoil for anyone.
No, we won't spoil it for anyone. But that was pretty much our week so far. You know, Thanksgiving has not happened yet as of this recording. However, when we talk to you the next time, we will be comparing holiday notes. We will let you know if anybody flipped the table. We will let you know if any fights happened or anything like that.
Yep.
All right. Brian, are you ready to go into the topic du jour?
Ready.
All right. Well, let's get started.
Okay. Subject of very much controversy right now. A controversy that's been so active in Star Wars fandom that for well over a month it's overshadowed the Mandalorian and Grogu movie coming up this May. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, fans getting, you know, pretty kind of soured on Disney involving Star Wars because they didn't, because Bob Iger. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting mixed up with the previous executive.
Yeah, that was like Will Eisner, wasn't it? Or am I wrong?
Ed, I believe.
Ed, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, Ed Eisner?
Yeah, but not related to the other one.
That's Ed Asner.
Yeah, not related. So, Bob Iger, okay, the CEO of Disney, and Alan Bergman rejected this Hunt for Ben Solo script that was fully developed and signed off on by Lucasfilm under the pretense that Ben Solo is dead, okay?
Crazy.
Yeah, never mind that Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi said no one is truly gone, which has been the case for about say 15 different characters from Star Wars already.
Only 15.
Yeah, 15 characters who were supposedly dead and came back from the dead. Okay,
right.
Some of them in the space of one movie. Oh, we'll get into those examples.
And there's also many examples across media. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a little while.
Okay.
You know, we got Lord of the Rings examples, Harry Potter examples, Star Trek. Okay,
we've got it all because Brian
and the Transformers.
Brian made a spreadsheet. Everybody, he made notes. He was doing his research. So be prepared because Brian is about to serve Bob Iger.
Now, this script had been in development for 2 years. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
that's a long time.
Yes, Adam Driver was playing coy with people while this was going on, saying that he was finished with Star Wars. Okay, fair enough. His character died, and he went off and had some additional acting roles that didn't involve Star Wars at all, of course. But obviously trying to have a Harrison Ford-like career, okay, after working with Harrison Ford in 2 movies. I mean, how great is that?
Pretty darn great, I would say.
Yeah. With an actor who wanted his character to die in the original trilogy, but then wound up dying in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Working with Adam Driver, his screen son, who dies in the last not the Last Jedi.
In Rise,
The Rise of Skywalker. Okay,
right.
The Rise of Skywalker. Okay, so little did we know that he had come up with a concept for how Ben Solo returns. Okay.
Okay.
And he was working with Steve Soderbergh on this.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Steve Soderbergh has been involved as a director with Adam Driver before, and Steve Soderbergh's known for Ocean's 11, Magic Mike, Sex, Lies, and Videotape. And he would have been the director.
That's an impressive resume.
For the Hunt for Ben Solo. A proven director.
Yes.
Here. Okay.
That's an impressive resume. I was a little too young for Sex, Lies, and Videotape when it first came out. But I did manage to see it when I was old enough, and I remember appreciating it. It was very... If you've not seen it, Excavators, go ahead and check it out if you can find it. But it is not meant for children.
No, definitely
not.
The title is a dead giveaway, of course.
Of course. I just want to be clear, though.
Yep. So, now Steve Soderbergh also had his wife, Rebecca Blunt, involved, okay, which is the pen name of Jules Asner, okay, as Jules Asner did not want to have her husband directly tied to her when she's working with him. So she has this pseudonym of Rebecca Blunt, which until recently was, well, no one knew it was her.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But so Rebecca Blunt, Steve Soderbergh's wife, worked with Scott Burns, who is known for helping to rewrite Rogue One with Tony Gilroy. Okay.
Rogue One.
Yeah.
Tony Gilroy, yeah.
You don't say.
You don't say.
Someone who helped pull Disney's fat out of the fire on Rogue One. Okay. Discounting what they could do for a film that comes after the sequel trilogy. Okay?
Right.
Now, yes, that's ridiculous. Okay? He worked with it now. A movie that movies are written by Scott Burns was like The Report, which had Adam Driver in it.
And we saw that movie.
Yes, it was good. Adam Driver did an excellent job. Okay, so this would have been Adam Driver working with Scott Burns again. Okay, Scott Burns, The Bourne Ultimatum, The Informant, Contagion, Side Effects, The Landromat, and American Psycho.
American Psycho, really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So, I'm not sure. I really can't tell you what was going on in Bob Iger's head here. Okay.
Yeah, and also I just want to point out that these people who make these films and they have proven resumes, they're busy people. If they make time in their schedule for you, you darn well better follow through, because you might never get them again.
Right. If you don't utilize these people when they are on your doorstep and ready to go to work for you, they're going to get on another project.
Yes.
Okay?
Right.
Now, Adam Driver already has 2 more movies lined up, for example.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. One's coming now. Mother, daughter, father, sister.
Oh, I'm not sure.
For December. Okay.
Okay. It's coming out next month?
December 25th, I believe. Okay. It's going to be another one of those artistic independent films.
Oh, okay.
Adam Driver loves to do those.
Yeah.
So that movie's coming out next month. Okay.
Okay.
I believe it's
all right, well,
we can send a message to Bob Iger by going to see Adam Driver's next movie in December. Okay. The trailers are showing right now for that movie.
Adam Driver fans, we ride at dawn.
Yes. Yes. And Adam Driver also has a movie coming out where he's going to play a Medal of Honor winner.
Oh, is it like a prestige war movie?
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
Okay, I'm definitely interested in that.
Now that's that might be coming to us sometime next year or year after next, okay?
Okay.
So, now, Bob Iger's under the mistaken impression that Adam Driver is not a box office driver. No pun intended, okay? No pun intended.
Is he a number 3 driver?
Oh, you're so funny. Number 3 driver. I had an encounter with one of those, and it wasn't a lot of fun.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. It just popped out of my mouth.
Yes,
but anyway, yeah.
Golf clubs kill folks.
They can.
A little lucky to be alive. That's a story for another time.
All right, but anyway, yeah. Let's not get too far into the weeds with this.
But Star Wars is different. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we can't expect everybody who loved Adam Driver in Star Wars to go see him in that movie 65. That science fiction movie 65. I did, though. Okay. I went to go see 65.
Was it good?
I thought 65 was pretty good, but they took a critical misstep, in my opinion. 65 was reminiscent of episodes of, say, The Twilight Zone.
Okay.
Or the Outer Limits, even more so. Okay.
Okay.
Where they went wrong was they kind of gave it away. When they promoted the movie, they pretty much gave away the fact that this was prehistoric Earth. Okay.
It kind of reminds me of Don't Worry, Darling, where when I saw the previews, I was thinking, there's something artificial about this world, and I was right.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't hate the movie. I actually really loved that movie, but that's a different discussion. Mm-hmm. But I do recommend it.
So, in this movie, in the beginning, it appears like Adam Driver he's on this space exploration. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're meant to think that this is from Earth. Okay.
Okay.
And he winds up crash landing on this planet. Okay. There's dinosaurs. And in the end of the movie, he barely escapes before the meteor shower hits, destroys the dinosaurs. Okay.
Okay.
Now this could have been a surprise ending.
Yeah.
Whereas you're thinking all along that this is Earth in the space exploration era, and they find a planet like Earth with dinosaurs. But no, when they promoted the movie, they pretty much gave it away that it was in our prehistoric period, 65 billion years ago. Hence the name 65, okay?
Right, okay.
But they should have kept that under wraps.
So was it...
And surprised us in the end of the movie that Adam Driver's character is from a different civilization.
That's exactly like kind of what happened with Terminator 2, where they gave away that Arnold was the good guy, like, right away through the trailer and the marketing and everything.
Yeah, and they really shouldn't have, because the way that movie flowed, you didn't know who the good guy was initially.
Yes, and one day we will have a whole episode devoted to Terminator, because it really is worthy of its own discussion. It's one of our favorite film franchises.
Oh, yes.
But I just want to say, though, just like that moment with the roses where the shotgun comes out of the rose box, just like James Cameron never puts any more information than is needed on the screen. And that one part conveyed like 5 different things.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we had this script that was in development 2 years. It's ready to go, okay? And even better, the script is pitched to Kathleen Kennedy, CEO of Lucasfilm, Carrie Beck, Vice President of Lucasfilm, and Dave Filoni, the Chief Creative Officer of Lucasfilm. All 3 of them sign off on this script.
Okay.
Okay? All 3 of them. Kathleen Kennedy is especially excited about this. And it's not too much of a surprise, because Kathleen Kennedy, she casted Adam Driver herself. She had already noticed him in independent films.
And probably that Law and Order SVU episode he was in.
Yes, yes. And she essentially gave him the role of Kylo Ren. And it was well-deserved.
And that is so rare. That is so rare for someone to be a relative unknown and then just be handed a role without an audition or anything.
It's that rare talent.
Yes.
That beckons such treatment.
Yes, and Adam Driver always... Because I saw that... was it called Marriage Story with Scarlett Johansson? I watched him in that too, and he was very intense.
Yeah.
Very intense
Very
role.
intense.
So,
yeah,
there's a gravity that he brings. That's... And I have to say that's... as a creative person myself, okay, and just channeling my art through different mediums, talent plus skill plus gift are 3 different things.
Yes.
But you have to combine them together. I think that Adam Driver's gravity is his gift. That's something that can't be taught. That's something that can't be explained. It just simply is.
And his intensity as well, and his physical courage on the set, which was obviously developed when he was in the Marine Corps for a couple of years before he had a medical discharge after getting into an accident with a dirt bike.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh.
and he was very upset because that meant that he missed his deployment with his unit.
How long was he actually in?
2 years.
So, and then he got into an accident only 2 years in?
About 2 years in on a dirt bike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, people in the Marines, they do suffer non-combat injuries here and there. Marines, I'm a Marine Corps veteran. Marines are very intense individuals.
Yeah.
Non-combat injuries are common in the Marine Corps.
Because they're always trying to chase an adrenaline high.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
I broke my left foot while doing this form of fast roping at School of Infantry.
Yeah, and you told me about that. You didn't execute
Camp Pendleton School of Infantry.
You didn't execute a spider drop correctly?
Yes, it was a variation of fast roping known as the spider drop, and I managed to. They made me do it like 10 times, and I think I fractured my left foot on the 7th try. You know, the combat boot is an excellent splint for any foot fracture, so it took me hours to figure out that the 4th metatarsal of my left foot was fractured.
Oh, yeah.
I had to completely unlace that combat boot in order to get it off because it was swelled and looking pretty blue. Yeah, so that's, you know, a quick swelling, and you see blue, black color. Yeah, you got a fracture. Yeah.
All right. Well, we are going to continue after this quick break.
David Ford, BBC World Service, reporting to you live and direct from a Lucasfilm press conference with Miss Kathleen Kennedy.
Hello, everybody.
Miss Kennedy, is it true that Disney has acquired the rights to yet another iconic film franchise?
It's true. Welcome to Star Wars Jackass.
Wait, the Ewoks and shopping carts? Tusken Raiders at the bloody mall?
Exactly.
Oh, well, now a word from our sponsor.
Oh, honey, drop that glue stick and gather round, because Glinda Glue Gun has a spell to cast on your evening. If you've been wandering the wilds of YouTube looking for magic, meaning, and maybe a little mischief, look no further. Spellbound Studio is where art and imagination hold hands and skip off into the sunset. Do you want stories that will make your brain tingle in the best way? Step into Lyrical Lens, where each piece of art comes with music and stunning art. Do you have a creative itch? Head on over to the Creative Craft playlist. It's where you can learn new techniques and become the artsy witch that you were always meant to be. Or maybe you just want to exhale for the first time in a week. In that case, float into the serene stream, a cozy safe haven of calming art, soft sounds, and amazing visuals. So grab your coffee and warm up your wand. Check the link in the description of this podcast to discover Spellbound Studio and click that subscribe button, because at Spellbound Studio every day is full of glitter. And we're back.
So Adam Driver's physical courage on set came into play as he was doing his own stunts for The Rise of Skywalker.
That's very impressive, too.
They had a stunt double for him who was in costume. And at least a couple of times the stunt double was told to basically get lost, hide. Because Adam's on his way, Adam's almost here, and he is not going to utilize you.
So the stunt guy still got paid for the day, though, right?
Of course. Oh yes, having worked on a few film productions, you have movie extras and you have stunt people, and you even have stand-ins who will be called in on certain days, but then for one reason or another, they don't get utilized that day.
Right.
Because the director, hence the title director, can cut this and add that to his or her judgment.
Right.
Okay? Like, you could have extras rehearse a waltz.
Right.
For a dance sequence that, for example, here was occurring on the TV show Interview with the Vampire, okay? During the 1940s era, later on in the season with the Mardi Gras Ball, the Rex Mardi Gras Ball. And what wound up happening was the director was not satisfied with the progress that the extras made on rehearsing this waltz. So she cut the waltz with these extras all together and just simply had the extras standing around.
Yeah.
watching Luis and Lestat dance together.
Oh, okay.
And giving offended looks, of course.
Right.
Because, of course, especially back then, men were not supposed to dance with men, you see.
No.
So you can always count on extras to give offended looks, offended reactions to the camera, of course. That's easier than having them actually dance.
Sure.
So that's one example of something that gets cut. People who don't get utilized or utilized for what you brought them in for.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's always so much that goes on behind the scenes. So, we've talked a little bit about the Hunt for Ben Solo. We've talked a bit about Adam Driver. Did we get into why?
Let's talk about the well, okay.
About why
I'm going to tell you why. Okay. Yes. Bob Iger has this erroneous belief that Adam Driver is not a box office draw. Okay. Now, perhaps he's not a huge draw when you're simply talking about Adam Driver. Okay.
Right.
But this is Star Wars.
A Star Wars movie has never flopped, has it?
The only one that didn't perform to expectations was Solo: A Star Wars Story,
which is such a great fun movie.
And that was because Disney really dropped the ball promoting that movie. They went into that with the assumption that it's Star Wars, we don't have to promote it, people will come to see it. But there were many Star Wars fans who had no idea this movie was even in the box office, and the big promotion they did for it was with Denny's. Okay? Denny's, okay?
Denny's. And that's so silly. Like, come on now. You have Disney money. You could have at least gotten a Burger King deal.
Yeah. And so Bob Iger didn't want to listen to John Hoey and Lacey Gillerin from the Resistance broadcast, okay? Podcast, which is on YouTube, and it's a great Star Wars fan podcast.
I would actually go so far as to say it's probably the best Star Wars podcast because they're very thoughtful in what they discuss. We've watched many episodes together, and I always appreciate their commentary, even if I don't always agree with them. What I really respect about them is that they always find something positive to say about Star Wars instead of everybody being so negative.
Yeah, they're not out to just tear apart Star Wars when their egos aren't stroked.
Right.
Or Star Wars doesn't live up to lofty expectations, which is of course another discussion, okay? But the biggest reason I brought up the Resistance broadcast is that they had a fan campaign going.
They did.
For the last several years called Make Solo 2 Happen.
They have.
I even have the T-shirt "Make Solo 2 Happen."
Yes, you do, and John Hoey wears it on the show pretty often.
From time to time, yes, yeah. And they even, they caught the attention of help me out here, Richie Cunningham.
Oh, Ron Howard.
Yeah. They caught the attention of director Ron Howard, who was brought in to salvage Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Oh.
And so Ron Howard even at one point had tweeted "Make Solo 2 Happen." Okay.
That's so cool.
Yeah. You have Jonas, okay, who played, lots of fans just call him Jonas, who played Chewbacca.
Yeah.
In Episode 8, Episode 9, and in Solo: A Star Wars Story, he got behind it.
Yeah.
The actor who played Han Solo in the Solo: A Star Wars Story got behind the effort.
Mm-hmm.
And not Ben Solo.
Han Solo.
Solo, A Star Wars Story, got more popular. It picked up popularity after its box office run when fans kept saying, no, you need to see this. No, this is fun. This is good. This isn't, this is not a bad Star Wars movie. This is a fun Star Wars movie. The Star Wars heist.
Yes. Yeah, and it is a very fun movie. We should rewatch it again.
Yes.
But I do want to comment that, kind of dragging it back a little bit, when we watch the Resistance broadcast, Lacey often brings up marketing. And she's right. She has many good points about marketing, and so what are we seeing today already in movie theaters is the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer, which makes me think that hopefully Disney has learned from that lack of marketing mistake.
Yes, but they didn't learn the right lesson because they canceled what was going to be next in the anthology series.
And that was going to be the
Boba Fett.
The Boba Fett, yeah.
But that wasn't really so bad because it was as a result of that we got 3 seasons of The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett.
Featuring the Mandalorian.
Yeah, because Dave Filoni and
Jon Favreau were told they couldn't have Boba Fett for their show. So they created another Mandalorian character, okay? So it's funny how the fall of Solo, A Star Wars Story, yes,
gave rise to the Mandalorian
and yes,
and a revival of Boba Fett in the Book of Boba Fett.
And I just want to say that the episode in which Boba Fett reappears is one of the best episodes of television. The Gunslinger, such a fantastic episode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So Bob Iger pays no attention to the Make Solo 2 Happen campaign. So it's no surprise that he's paying, obviously, very little mind to the Save Ben Solo campaign, which has had several interesting developments. Someone renting a plane with a banner, flown over Disney in Anaheim, saying "Save Ben Solo." Didn't want to infringe on the copyright by saying the title.
Right, but I love that though. This is why I love nerds.
Yeah. Nerd. A lot of nerds have money these days, don't they? Yeah. Enough pocket change to rent a plane to fly a banner over Disney.
Yes.
Bob Iger.
I will say too.
And let's not forget the billboards. Times Square. Billboards in Times Square, okay? I mean, it's like today's Star Wars fans have crazy amounts of money, and I have like just one current example to list out of many examples. A screen-used helmet from The Mandalorian, okay?
Okay.
With Heritage Auctions, recently sold for about $130,000.
Whoa.
Now, it had Pedro Pascal's autograph on the inside. Okay?
Wow, okay.
But let's get real, folks. When Pedro Pascal does conventions, it's probably going to be, his autograph will be only $100 on a picture, probably. Maybe $150, okay? But a fan had all this crazy money to spend, $130,000.
Yeah.
On a screen-used Mandalorian helmet. Okay?
Let's
not forget one of, I believe maybe 2 or 3 existing rocket-firing Boba Fetts that are authenticated.
Oh, yeah.
$50,000, folks.
Wow.
There's Star Wars fans who have crazy money right now. Okay? Many of these fans have graduated college and they're making their adult incomes of big-time discretionary funds. People are paying thousands of dollars for Star Wars collectibles that are not manufactured anymore. And paying top dollar for new collectibles. Case in point, okay, and this includes toy sales. Last year, Disney made $250 million on toy lightsaber sales.
How much?
$250 million.
You mean like the ones that you could just go into Walmart and buy, like the cheap ones?
That, as well as the higher end ones that are sold for $100, $150, $200 for adult
Okay.
collectors.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like with the toy lightsabers, you could spend as little as $10 on a kid's toy, or as much as $300 on an adult collectible lightsaber licensed by Lucasfilm.
Okay.
You see, so lightsaber sales last year bring in the budget of Solo: A Star Wars Story.
They do.
Hello,
Hello,
Bob
McFly.
Iger.
Hello, McFly. Hello.
Imagine how many Rey lightsabers you could sell, Bob Iger. Imagine how many Kylo Ren lightsabers you could sell, Bob Iger, which you've no goddamn good and well, you've already sold some Kylo Ren lightsabers. And of course, let's not forget Ben Solo's lightsaber. Okay? Who wouldn't buy Ben Solo's lightsaber? That would be at the top of my list if that movie was made.
Well, it really sounds to me like, well, in general, fandoms are what keep things alive. You know, you can talk about, or you brought the Twilight Zone earlier. We still love the Twilight Zone, even though it's a classic TV show at this point. The episodes are timeless. The lessons still resonate and all those things, and that's a great piece of art. And there's going to be people who still watch the Twilight Zone, hopefully in 100 years from now, right?
Yeah.
We still have a very dedicated contingent of Battlestar Galactica fans, both the original series and the 2004 version. These things don't just really go away. There's always a thirst for them, right?
Everybody wants their childhood back.
Everybody wants their childhood back. But my overall point is that when the fandom keeps the soul of something alive, it's very special. And I feel like Bob Iger is determined to just strip the soul out of Star Wars.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to care much for Star Wars. Is it mostly Marvel, it seems, and well as the kid movies. Okay, what a brilliant decision to make another Frozen movie, Bob Iger. Wow! How did you figure that one out? You know, you could have polled 4th graders on whether or not they wanted another Frozen movie, and what do you think they would say? And what do you think their parents would say?
Their parents would probably say, "Please God, not another song."
The phrase is called "Take my money, Bob."
Okay.
and now there's no doubt that fans of the sequel trilogy have graduated college by now and are starting to make money, Bob. Money that they will graciously hand over to you if you deliver for the fans.
Right.
Okay?
Well,
I'm not alone here. I'm far from being alone here. We're not alone here.
Well, you've issued a lot of your grievances, and I've added a few, but I have a few more grievances with Bob Iger personally. Would you like to hear them?
Oh, bring it on.
All right. So, in a recent earnings call, Bob Iger announced an AI-powered video creation tool for Disney+. Now, I want to say that as a creative person, you can use AI in a correct way. And that, you can use it to help you process, organize your thoughts. You can even use AI programming to put musical arrangements together. Okay?
Well, I guess maybe he is trying to poll those 4th graders.
But now, because a lot of people, and I understand this too, because I was skeptical about AI generative stuff too, and rightfully so, because yes, you do have people who think, oh, I can make a quick buck by using AI to steal Kanye West music and overlay Taylor Swift's voice on it, and I can go put it up on stream and I can make money. But the thing is, these days, Apple Music, Spotify, all these things, they're now set up for that because we're now a couple of years into this generative AI point in our lives. Okay, so by now these companies have figured out how to spot that a mile away, so they will pull it off those platforms. Okay, so like you don't get to just outright steal somebody's work and profit off of it in that way. Okay, but there's programs that like you personally can pay for and download onto a computer that does use programming to help you overlay your own music or helps you to perhaps correct video, whatever it is you're trying to do. Okay, so I think that we might be kind of at this point right now where people are trying to figure out how to work alongside with it, how to use it as a tool rather than as something for theft. That's not to say there won't always be thieves and scammers, because there will. But my point is that there can be harmony.
Yeah, because it appears Bob Iger's out to steal other people's ideas with this.
So exactly. So during that earnings call, he's announced an AI-powered video creation tool, right? Now, he's describing this as an innovative way for subscribers to generate short videos featuring Disney-owned characters. So, like, you could have Scarlet Witch and Grogu in the same video, all right? Now, here are the issues that I have with this, okay? Number one, I'm sure that entertainment lawyers are having a lot of fun right now trying to figure out how to write laws that can either allow corporations to steal likenesses, and then there's going to be another group of lawyers who are trying to write laws that are going to protect the actors. Okay, there's going to be two different sides to this, and both sides, matters of law take a long time. They have to go through courts. They have to have opinions written, and all these things have to happen. So that's very slow. And the danger here is when the technology outpaces the law.
Yeah, and then there's need for regulations.
There is a need for regulations.
New entertainment law, new copyright law.
All those things, right? There's a whole world, or a whole orbit, a whole galaxy around this, really. So now my other issue with it is this: what is to stop Disney Plus? Because I'm going to tell you everybody straight up, okay? If you do this, okay, there's going to be a term of service box that you're not going to read. But you know what it's going to say in there? It's going to say, because you use our intellectual property to create your stuff, it belongs to us. Now, imagine if somebody comes up with a really cool concept and puts it into one of these videos. What has stopped Bob Iger from pointing at that going, that's mine, I'm going to build a multi-million-dollar franchise around it and you get nothing?
Yes, Bob Iger force choking the fans. And then unfortunately, you won't be able to have say Darth Vader in one of these little videos force choking Bob Iger, but I'm going to bet lots of fans really would love to do so.
Right. So now I do not agree with this. Also, another reason why I don't agree with this is because right now Disney is in court with a company called Midjourney. Midjourney is I believe the biggest generative AI that's being cited for copyright theft right now. Not just Disney, but other artists too and other studios. So Midjourney might wind up being sued out of existence. But I find it galling that Bob Iger is like, oh, I'm just going to tighten my grip on my intellectual, or Disney's intellectual property, and I'm going to remove the soul from it. But at the same time, I'm going to insist that people use this creative feature that we're introducing. I mean, it's like, okay, now I don't have a problem with somebody protecting their intellectual property. That's not my issue. My issue is when you very hypocritically sue a company and then turn around and steal people's ideas for your own.
Well, the bottom line to billionaires is control.
Yes.
Power. They want to have control. Billionaires want to control the money. They want to control what generates the money.
They do.
Billionaires want to own everything and everyone.
And this is a way that they're trying to do it. I mean, Disney's catalog from everything that they own is actually insane. Do they still own the rights to Showgirls, for example?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's something that Disney owns, by the way. Disney also owns the Rocky Horror Picture Show when you think about it.
Yeah. That's available. You can stream that on Hulu, right? Through Disney Plus.
I believe you can.
Yeah. It's like a classic example is when at one point Bill Gates wanted to own the internet.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes. Now,
and other billionaires sicked the Justice Department on him during the Clinton administration.
And then it never happened again.
Yeah, no kidding.
Never happened again after that. The money learned how to get away with it since.
Yes. They always do.
So obviously, the AI slot potential with this tool is pretty vast. Animators and artists are furious. This to them symbolizes a replacement of genuine creative labor. And, turning it over to automated output, which you can't automate creativity.
I never dreamed that artistry and creativity would become industrialized.
I mean, for myself, for my YouTube videos, I have a process. I have a workflow, and that's much different than what I actually am creating on my screen. My point is that at this point, I have my workflow down. I know what tools I need. I know what techniques I use. And all that kind of thing. And that's the difference between your workflow and having that streamlined and your creative child meeting with each other. Okay? And that's different than automated creativity.
Yes, I mean, dude, and let's be frank about this. How many people really want to see a writer's room become an AI?
Oh, God. I think for season 25 of Special Victims Unit, I swear to God they were using, ChatGPT to write their scripts. They were so hollow and so lame. It was probably the worst season of SVU, if I'm being frank.
No, creativity takes people.
It takes the flavor out of it.
Yes.
When I think about, let's go back to Law and Order, okay? When I think about those early episodes, they were so gritty. They had flavor. They had a story. They had good, a soul to it. And it just feels like when you use automation to create, it feels soulless. And also, a lot of these AI slot videos and AI slot pictures, they look cheap. They don't look refined or real. They look weird and cheap.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage in, garbage out, exactly. So the legal aspect is deepening fears too. With Disney suing Midjourney, because again, they want full control over their IP is used and under their own terms, which again, fair if you own it. But you can't launch your own walled garden system where you decide terms of use, ownership, creative rights, and monetization. like I said, they can very easily steal your concept. So I would not trust this particular tool at all. I don't even think I would put a finger on it.
Well, I would like to see fans abuse it.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Disney's going to have a lot of safeguards in place. Like, you can't, like, okay. Can I say this on YouTube or will I get in trouble? I might just say it anyway. When Elon Musk took over Twitter and removed a lot of the guardrails, there was like Mario porn flying around Twitter that everybody could see.
Oh Lord, I'm glad I haven't bothered with Twitter in years, because there's just things you just don't need to see. Okay, stuff that doesn't even deserve a second renting space in your head.
Well, I didn't actually see it. I just know that it happened.
Okay.
So no, I would not go looking for that.
Purge that, please. Purge that.
Oh no, it's staying in this episode.
Freaking Twitter cesspool. The cesspool of social media, Twitter.
Which also begs the question, like at a certain point, you know, these cool new things or were cool new things, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever, you know, it gets taken over. And it just gets corporatized in the worst way.
Yeah, even perverted.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Now, at present, Disney has not clarified if performers are going to receive any compensation or residuals if their likenesses are used in this AI creation tool, okay? SAG-AFTRA has repeatedly condemned the use of synthetic performers trained on actors without permission, so this is a big unresolved issue. Now, Bob Iger has called the anger around Disney's AI initiative very disturbing.
Disturbing for him. Okay.
And
good. I'm glad to hear that, Bob.
And he's also accused workers of having unrealistic expectations. And this is what I have to say to this. Bob Iger, are you listening to me? I really hope you are, because you need to hear this, sir. Sir, there have been many gorgeous animated movies drawn by hand by real artists who painstakingly bent over desk, worked late into the night, spines aching, hands sore, a lot of finger shaking and knuckle cracking, and their determination to freaking get it right. Okay? Those people slaved over it for art. And you know what? They created something classic and timeless that is still enjoyed today. I still love Cinderella. I still love the animation in the original Robin Hood movie with the fox and the rooster minstrel. Love that. Okay? And that was created by hand. Okay? What you're doing right now is disgusting. Okay? Who Framed Roger Rabbit? One of the greatest movies ever made. Lit for film. Amazing talented performance by Bob Hoskins. These animators went out of their way to make the cartoons look like they belonged in the world, part of the world, and not outside of the world, okay? Roger spitting real water. The cartoon penguins walking with real trays on their hands. That was talent. That was planning. That was execution. And it's a movie that I still enjoy today, no matter how many times I see Who Framed Roger Rabbit. In particular, I'm blown away by the details. So, Mr. Iger, you suck.
Yeah, you've lost your touch. Bob Iger has lost touch with Star Wars fans. And this is because with The Hunt for Ben Solo, this is the first time ever that a script that was signed off on by Lucasfilm executives was not accepted.
Mm-hmm.
was
Right.
just turned down. Kathleen Kennedy believed in this script and was sure that Bob Iger was going to approve it. Bob, you do not trust your executives at Lucasfilm?
Apparently not. Now, Cody Ziegler was a writer on She-Hulk, and he publicly revealed that his residual check for a Disney Plus episode that was viewed millions of times was just $396.
And that's a small residual check. That's very small. I mean, Disney makes more than that in a minute.
Disney does make more than that in a minute.
Easily.
They could probably pay like 25 Cody Zieglers.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's like, so where this is all going is creative writers that help Disney to literally print money. Bob is trying to screw them. And he probably is gonna get away with it if we let him.
Now, this feels a lot less like innovation and just opens up the door for nothing but corporate greed.
Mechanization.
Yes.
Industrialization.
Now, Disney's embrace of AI is, this has caused sweeping layoffs across the company. Several hundred layoffs have happened across film, TV, casting, development, and corporate finance. Major restructuring toward a streamlined, streaming-focused business. So there was 175 jobs eliminated at Pixar. Pixar, one of the most creative names in my lifetime. A Bug's Life, for example, was one of the biggest movies when it came out. They had an unmistakable style. They created memorable things. Pixar was a big deal, and now it's going to be stomped into the ground.
Yeah. For what? For a future that can't really write itself.
No, it can't really write itself. The animation's probably going to look off. It's going to look strange. And yeah, I have a real problem with this. I have a real problem with automated creativity because you can't really do it because machines don't have a soul. Okay?
Nope.
And for those of you who do use Grok or ChatGPT or whatever, you always have to remember that.
Yes.
It does not have a soul. It's not your friend. And really how you should treat it, if you're going to use it at all, is you need to treat it like a tool. Okay, it's not your friend, it's not your diary, but you need to treat it like a tool. And you have to remember that there's it's like using a screwdriver. It's like using a screwdriver or a gasoline can. Okay, it's a tool to help A to B.
Yeah, the right tool for the right job.
Yes. Okay, and I also need to emphasize, if you use these things, you use your own work, use your own concepts. All right, don't take somebody else's stuff.
Be the star of your own story.
Be the star of your own story. That's a great way to put it. Yes. Now, other studios are also using AI, but they're using AI in what I believe to be effective ways. So you have Staircase Studios. They use AI for visuals. They still hire writers, directors, actors, and other creatives. They pay industry standard rates, and they plan collaborations with union talent in multiple departments. Primordial Soup, who is it is headed by Darren Aronofsky, who I'm not surprised that his name has turned up in this conversation. He's probably one of the best visual filmmakers of my generation. Life of Pi, Requiem for a Dream, Black Swan, just incredible movies. But he's also exploring the artistic integration of AI. He's still relying on live actors and human storytelling. He is not putting AI in the writer's room. And so he's treating it as a tool, not a substitute. Then there's Utopi Studios, they use AI for environment generation and world building, but they're not eliminating character artists, directors, or designers. So these studios are demonstrating that AI can be used in the right way.
Yes, and I guarantee you AI had nothing to do with what Adam Driver referred to as one of the coolest bleepity bleep scripts I had ever been a part of.
Oh.
The Hunt for Ben Solo.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
For Adam Driver to call a script cool is really saying something. This man has done excellent independent films.
Yeah.
With a high level of artistry. So his embracement of this script, of this Hunt for Ben Solo script, says something.
Right.
But Bob Iger's not listening. No one's listening.
We should do a whole episode about Andor.
Oh yes, of course. It kind of makes you wonder how he listened to Kathleen Kennedy and Tony Gilroy about Andor, but that's another topic.
We will get there. We will get there.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
This won't be our last Star Wars discussion.
Far from it.
Far from it. So anyway, this is going to open up a larger discussion, and rightfully so. Now, I think that an actor or a singer or whoever should always have payment for their likeness, for their voice, whatever. If you want to quote somebody's writings, then you should always credit or pay the author of those works as well. Like, there's a reason why, for example, that recently the discussion about master tapes and music has been coming up. Okay, some artists hold on to their masters, some artists don't. And some artists don't realize that they should have held on to them. It's the same concept.
Yeah. So, moving back to The Hunt for Ben Solo.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in Star Wars and other sci-fi mediums, characters who have died or believed to have been died coming back is nothing unusual, nothing out of the ordinary, and is usually embraced and loved by fans, with very few exceptions. Okay?
Right.
Now, we're going to leave Star Wars momentarily for examples outside of the Star Wars universe where this has happened. Okay? One of the greatest instances of this was obviously Captain Spock's heroic sacrifice, saving the Enterprise from the Genesis wave by literally exposing himself to radiation to reconnect the mains for the warp drive, knowing that that was the only way it could be done, that they were never going to get away from the Genesis wave on impulse power.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Due to Spock's great sacrifice, the Enterprise was able to go into warp just in the nick of time to avoid the Genesis wave of destruction.
Yes.
So, and it was a dramatic and emotional death. A great death scene. And in the following movie, this was after, it's something to do with Leonard Nimoy's book, I Am Spock, after writing another book saying I am not Spock.
I know.
Okay. So he's trying to, and you can't blame him for trying to reinvent himself, only to find out that he is Spock. That will always be his greatest claim to fame, and he embraced it finally.
Do you mean his greatest claim to fame is not the Ballad of Bilbo Baggins?
A cute video. I believe that's on YouTube.
It should still be on YouTube. I watched it not too long ago.
Leonard Nimoy singing the Ballad of Bilbo Baggins.
It's if you want to spend a happy few minutes, just go look for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to give too much of that away, but it's a really funny watch. Yeah,
Yes.
it's cute. So the following movie, Star Trek III: The Search for Spock.
Right.
Sound familiar? Sound a little like Hunt for Ben Solo, maybe? You know, was a smashing success in the box office.
Yeah.
When the Enterprise crew, against orders, literally steals the Enterprise to go after Spock to reunite his Katra.
Right.
That was in Dr. McCoy, with the body of Spock that had been renewed by the Genesis wave.
Right. Yes.
Right. After they had that little funeral in space, you know, the
he was the most.
The coffin entered the Genesis planet that had been created from the Genesis wave, and the Genesis force rejuvenated Spock's body, but his Katra, which is basically his soul, had to be reunited. They found a brilliant way to bring Spock back, and the fans loved it, Bob. Okay? They came back and they helped Paramount print some money, Bob. Okay? Now, and in J.J. Abrams' movie, Captain Kirk dies. Okay? The second J.J. Abrams movie, in Star Trek Into Darkness, Captain Kirk dies. And Spock finds out a way to bring him back within the same movie. Okay? And that movie, that did well, Bob. Okay? Now, let's move on to Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
At the end of Lord of the Rings, of course, no, it wasn't the end. It was halfway through Lord of the Rings.
Or Fellowship of the Ring.
Fellowship of the Rings. Gandalf dies. Okay.
Yes, and he like dies.
Yeah, he really does die fighting the Balrog of Morgoth.
Yes.
One of Morgoth's leftover demons.
Yes, and I have to say, just his intervention, the music for that part is freaking incredible.
Yes, Ian McKellen at his best as well. So, lo and behold, the beginning of the Two Towers.
Yes.
We see how this mortal combat actually went on between Gandalf and the Balrog.
And it was freaking awesome.
Yes, it was.
Like, Peter Jackson did not hold back, and I respect that so much.
Yes. And so he succeeds in slaying the Balrog, dying in the process. Gandalf the Grey dies, but reborn as Gandalf the White.
Yes. Gandalf the White, and then after...
And the fans loved it, just as they loved it when they read the books, too.
Yes.
Bob.
Yes. And Gandalf... he even said, though, that he was only back for a certain amount of time until the task was done. And then he went into the West because he earned it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was, in a way, it was death, but it was your...
It's like happy death. It's like heaven.
Yeah. It's like your automatic trip to heaven.
Yeah, that's it.
When you ride off into the West. Now, fast forward to the Transformers the movie.
Transformers the movie.
From the 1990, which, as we mentioned Leonard Nimoy voiced Galvatron in that movie.
He did.
And you had Unicron. That was the last role for H.G. Wells. It's the voice of Unicron.
That's so crazy. That was his last work.
Yes. So, Unicron is destroyed at the end of Transformers the movie, but you see his head floating off into space. Now, this comes into play later on in the Transformers TV series that resumes after the movie, where Unicron is brought back, okay? And you have Starscream's ghost. Starscream was also destroyed in Transformers the movie, okay?
Right.
So they bring Starscream's ghost back. Unicron uses the small amount of power he has, although he's contained, okay, to give Starscream's ghost a new body, okay. And then now he says, now fulfill your part of the bargain, because all Starscream has to do is attach these two wires, and Unicron has another body, and he's fully back in all his glory. But then Starscream says, do it yourself! And then flies off, okay? And then Starscream, to the delight of many fans, Starscream's back in Transformers! Bob! And the fans loved it. Optimus Prime dies in Transformers the movie, okay? There's this letter writing campaign where parents are upset. So they bring Optimus Prime back during the cartoon.
Right.
To the delight of fans, although it was kind of too little too late.
Right.
The show was dying.
Yeah.
Without Optimus Prime, okay? So, as you see there, so Resurrection serves the fans well here, Bob, okay? Now, Harry Potter.
Yes.
Voldemort.
You could even argue the ghost in Harry Potter were a way of them returning from the dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, it worked out really well in Harry Potter without Voldemort fighting to come back and then coming back.
You don't have the series.
Yeah, all you have is this comical, whimsical series of movies about kids going through a wizarding school.
That's it.
Which I won't even get into it, which is occurring in anime, okay?
Right.
Yeah. Which is fine. It's fine for anime, but it wouldn't have made a very good series of Harry Potter books and movies.
Well, also manga's a different medium.
It is. Yes, it really is. Yeah. It's like the coming of age and the horseplay that goes on with young anime characters. It helps to enrich those stories.
Right.
You see.
But
it serves those stories well.
And also, just on the flip side of it, I'm not very deep into anime, but I know there are some animes that are quite serious. They're not jokey at all, and I'm sure that they have people come back from the dead too.
Yeah. Now let's go back to Star Wars with bringing characters back from the dead. And how it's been heralded by fans, okay? Now, Chewbacca was originally killed in the expanded universe.
In such a... Yes, and I've not read it, but I remember you telling me about it, and it seems so very sad.
Yeah, he's saving little Anakin.
Yeah.
Throwing him into the Falcon, okay? They gave him a heroic death, but it wasn't well received by the fans.
Why would it be? Chewbacca's beloved. He's like one of those characters that you would assume has plot armor.
Yes, Wookiees lived for hundreds of years in Star Wars, okay? So, when Disney took over Lucasfilm, Skywalker Sound, and Industrial Light and Magic, when they acquired these businesses, they did away with the expanded universe, okay? Understandably, including the death of Chewbacca, thankfully, okay? So, you could say that was like the first thing that Disney did with bringing someone back from the dead. They brought Chewbacca back from the dead.
Yes.
Okay? Yeah, good job on that one, okay?
Sure.
Bob. So, but you even had this character named Ransom Casterfo. Ransom Casterfo, okay, who was an ally of Princess Leia.
Okay.
In the New Republic, okay.
And is this from a novel or a comic?
Now, this is from a series of this is from novels that were like Star Wars Bloodline, okay, is one of those Disney Star Wars novels that is considered to be canon.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So, his character is betrayed by agents of the First Order.
Oh, okay.
Who are, because it's obvious that the New Republic was infiltrated by the First Order. as
Okay.
we see going down in these novels. Okay.
Okay.
So they managed to incriminate Castorfo. Okay.
Okay.
And he's going to be executed. And it's presumed that he was executed. But then in the novel Resistance Reborn, Leia succeeds in rescuing him.
Okay, right on.
Okay. So it was understood he was going to die. So, but, you know, Leia rescues him in Resistance Reborn. And that's yet another example. Okay. And fans were perfectly fine with it. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Like Claudia Gray, the creator of the character, she envisioned Tom Hiddleston playing this character.
Okay.
Because there were no artist conceptions of the character, although someone did one that looked like Tom Hiddleston.
Hiddleston.
Okay. So now someone else involving the First Order, Captain Phasma,
Okay.
was assumed to have died at Starkiller Base in
The Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens. Okay. Now, Rian Johnson wanted the character in The Last Jedi. So Disney got a 4-issue miniseries out of this called Captain Phasma. Okay.
Okay.
Where it's her escape from Starkiller Base is depicted, and she's able to reunite with the First Order. You see.
Got it.
Right. And then she's actually killed in The Last Jedi. Okay. Fans were perfectly fine with that. Okay. I didn't mind having Captain Phasma back. To help to complete Finn's revenge arc.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then there's other characters. Okay. Now we're going to go to one of the originally controversial Star Wars deaths. Okay.
Ooh, controversy.
Darth Maul.
Yes.
Literally cut in half. Okay. You even have Hasbro make an action figure that's magnetized at the waist.
And there was even a Toy Fair magazine advertisement where the Darth Maul was split in half, and in between the halves it said, "What a waste."
Yeah, what a waste. Okay. And yes, I bought that Darth Maul figure, and yes, I cut him in half a few times. I definitely had to open that one. It was fun. Okay.
Sure.
So, we had fun with that. But then during the production of Clone Wars, George Lucas, good old Uncle George, comes up with the idea that Darth Maul really wasn't dead. Dave Filoni tells him, "Oh, Darth Maul's dead," and Uncle George says, "No, he's not." And they bring Darth Maul back in, and initially fans were kind of puzzled with that. It's like, well, how did they bring him back? But they found a way to do it, Bob. They found a way to bring Darth Maul back, and they made him into a dramatic character with serious Shakespearean vibes.
Didn't they use the Night Sisters to bring him back? Or am I mistaken?
They were involved.
Got it. Okay.
Right. And they were behind his brother. Turning his brother into Savage Opress.
Right,
Who becomes Darth Maul's apprentice.
And this is in the Clone Wars?
This is in the Clone Wars storyline, yes.
The TV show, not the movie.
The animated TV show, the awesome animated TV show Clone Wars, that did an excellent job of not only bringing Darth Maul back, but giving him the character development that he truly deserved. And even spawning into Rebels. Okay.
Yeah, and before that, I just want to point out that Darth Maul did have quite a bit of context in Episode 1 novel and the Journal of Darth Maul.
Yeah, the Journal of Darth Maul was a scholastic book for children.
But it was really surprisingly adult.
Yes, I actually read it, and I couldn't believe what I was reading, as we saw how like Darth Maul would chuckle at distress signals.
Right.
He would ignore them, and there was even one situation where because he ignored it, his ship was boarded by pirates.
Ah.
Because the distress signal was a trap that pirates laid.
It's a trap!
And he had to fight his way through the pirates, and he suffered this wound, a wound that he concealed from Darth Sidious because he considered it to be an embarrassment.
Right.
And I remember the last journal in the Darth Maul journal was written by Darth Sidious, saying that his only weakness was that he had no fear, and that he will make sure his next apprentice has fear.
It was a very dark ending. I'll tell you that, because we all know who Darth Sidious's next apprentice was.
Yes.
So
someone who had a tremendous amount of fear, who could easily be guided to the dark side as a result of that.
go ahead.
And so we had Darth Maul's character gets the end that he deserves. Once again at the hands of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
Who's very understanding and assures Darth Maul during his last breaths that the Chosen One would avenge them.
Yes.
And you even had Darth Maul show up at the end of Solo, a Star Wars story, doing the obligatory ignition of the lightsaber via hologram.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. It's interesting the way this all seems to tie together.
Sure.
With a common theme of bringing characters back from the dead, but delivering on it
more context.
With more context and more character development.
Yes.
Which is how you delight the fans.
You do delight the fans this way. So what are your other examples?
Okay, so Ahsoka Tano is saved from death, okay, after she's tricked into dueling with Anakin and Obi-Wan, okay, by the dark son of Mortis.
Right.
And Anakin's able to channel the daughter of Mortis, sacrifices herself to bring Ahsoka back. Channeling her energy through Anakin back to Ahsoka, bringing her back to life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's the point, is that characters don't have to stay dead.
Yeah. And she was also saved from certain death by Ezra as she's dragged away from Darth Vader, who's about to kill her via the world between worlds during Rebels.
Right.
When her character emerges in Rebels as Fulcrum, a covert operative for the rebellion.
And this was in Rebels, wasn't it?
Yeah, this was in Rebels. Okay. Yeah, and of course, in this role, the fact that she's been a Jedi is kept secret.
Ah, okay.
You see, because outing her could be fatal.
Outing her could have been fatal,
via the Empire, via Vader, who was about to kill her. As it was, okay. And on the TV show Ahsoka dies a third time.
She died 3 times and came back then.
Yeah, and she winds up meeting Anakin through the world between worlds, who's able to get her onto her proper path and help her to come back to life.
Right.
Okay. I don't want to give away how it's done, okay, but it's like ×3 with Ahsoka, Bob. And the fans were not upset about it. The fans ate it up, okay? And you had Rey, who adopts the name of Skywalker. After she channels all of the Jedi through her to defeat Palpatine once and for all, she dies. Ben Solo himself uses his life energy and dies, bringing her back, okay? Meaning that part of Ben Solo is living in Rey Skywalker now, okay?
Yes.
And you have Ben Solo now in this, Netherland of Jedi, where it's been established in a Disney comic book recently that there is this Neverland of Neverworld of Jedi, Netherland of Jedi, that is all of these force spirits.
Is that the world between worlds, or is that something
It's
different?
not the world between worlds. It's something separate from the world between worlds.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
And in there, Ben Solo makes contact with Luke again. And Luke even emphasizes that he has no time for Kylo Ren.
Right.
But he has time for Ben Solo.
Two separate identities.
Yeah. And he did tell him, see you around, kid.
Right.
And he does. Okay. So, I don't know how it hasn't been revealed, just in case the script is revived. Okay. But it's definitely shelved. Canceled for now. Okay. But it obviously has something to do with part of him living in Rey and the spirit of Ben Solo in the netherworld of Jedi. Okay.
Okay.
Now, so then Rey's killed and is brought back in the same movie after Palpatine is killed in Return of the Jedi.
And comes back.
And comes back as a clone for The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Okay. The Clone Emperor. Okay. Now, and it's hilarious how Disney, when they killed the expanded universe, that meant they got rid of the Clone Emperor.
Right.
Okay. And that storyline, where, the Clone Emperor in the expanded universe of the Dark Horse comic book was destroyed by Luke and Leia when they joined hands and surrounded Palpatine with the light side of the Force, thus cutting him off from the dark side, and then that was it. He just went piff.
So it was kind of like that reminds me a lot of the ending of Deathly Hallows, where Voldemort just kind of dissolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And in that battle, Palpatine was doing his darndest to pit Luke against Leia.
Right.
Because they were in a disagreement over things.
Sure.
So anyway, and then ironically, Disney brings back the Clone Emperor.
Wow.
So it's like they didn't just bring Palpatine back for The Rise of Skywalker. They quite literally brought the Clone Emperor back from the expanded universe as well.
Right.
You see? And that was, that was pretty controversial with fans. Not everybody liked that. I was okay with it because the Clone Emperor was actually Uncle George's idea in the first place.
Sure.
And before J.J. Abrams took on The Rise of Skywalker, where he took it over from the director who was fired, okay? J.J. Abrams discussed this with George Lucas, and George Lucas told J.J. Abrams that it makes sense that because Palpatine was manipulating things in the prequel trilogy, manipulating things in the original trilogy, that it only made sense that he was manipulating things in the sequel trilogy somehow. Okay.
Right.
So, that's why I was personally okay with bringing Palpatine back as a clone.
Yeah.
Because it was already done. Except I think this time around it was done better. As we've seen some of that story develop in the Mandalorian time frame.
Well, I also want to point out that if Ben Solo was powerful enough to give his life force to Rey and revive her, then he's powerful enough to come back.
That probably ties into it as well.
Yeah. It just sounds like such a lame excuse about Bob Iger saying that, Ben Solo's dead, he can't come back.
Yeah,
that's just,
yeah.
No.
And Bob Iger's he's thinking too much about Adam Driver and not enough about Ben Solo.
But here's the thing, people love Adam Driver.
Yes.
And not just in
Star Wars fans especially.
Well, what I'm saying, not just in Star Wars, the other comments that I've seen made towards him about his acting and his abilities has always generally been positive.
Yeah.
He's a bankable star.
He delivered for Star Wars fans, and he wanted to do it again. Bob.
Yes, Bob.
Now, you have Clone Trooper Echo was presumed dead, okay, during Clone Wars.
Okay.
And they bring him back to life in The Bad Batch, which I cannot recommend enough. All 3 seasons of The Bad Batch I thought were great.
Needs a rewatch.
Yeah, more great Disney animation Star Wars, okay? Star Wars Disney animation has been great.
Which was
and
also...
even great before it was Disney with Clone Wars.
Which was also made by actual people and not machines.
Yes. Animators like Dave Filoni, artists like Dave Filoni.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So now going back to The Mandalorian, you had Fennec Shand, who was shot in the abdomen. Okay, which abdominal wounds are normally fatal. Okay, that's the truth. Okay, although it seems that Star Wars seems to have this tradition of people surviving abdominal wounds.
They very much do.
Yeah. Whereas I think like one of the only exceptions was Qui-Gon Jinn, but they brought him back during Obi-Wan anyway.
Yeah,
in a way, his spirit. Okay, so this is really nothing new, Bob. Okay, so you have Fennec Shand come back for 2nd season of The Mandalorian, and then Book of Boba Fett, and then they have some of her backstory in some certain animated features. Okay.
Yes.
Prior to that, including The Bad Batch. Fennec Shand is in The Bad Batch. Okay. So, and recently you had Asajj Ventress. Okay.
Who is a very interesting character, Asajj Ventress.
Oh yeah, she has a story arc that's similar to Darth Maul's.
Yes, she does.
Similar, except Asajj Ventress finds her way to the light. Okay. Whereas in the novel Dark, I believe it was called Dark Apprentice.
Okay.
She's killed. Asajj Ventress is killed by Count Dooku's Force Lightning. And she winds up dying in Quinlan Voss's arms, okay? And she'd actually fallen in love with Quinlan Voss.
Oh, okay.
Now, in yet another good animation feature, Tales of the Underworld.
Yes.
It's revealed that Asajj Ventress was able to come back, whereas you have Quinlan Voss and Obi-Wan place her in this body of water where life had originated with these on Dathomar.
Right.
Okay. Where she wanted to be laid to rest with her sisters there. And the spirit of the mother, okay,
yes,
gives her a choice to make if she comes back. As part of that choice was that she could not rekindle with Quinlan Voss.
Yes.
But she's able to come back and find her own purpose, and I won't give that away. But it's a really good story. So they bring Asajj Ventress back, Bob, okay, and the fans loved it, okay. Now you also had Aura Singh, okay, who was presumed dead in Clone Wars, okay. See, at the end of Clone Wars Season 2, but somehow she survives. She doesn't die after all.
Right.
She comes back in Season 3. And we learn that she's actually killed by, Tobias Beckett.
Yes.
And once again, it brings us back to Solo, a Star Wars story, Bob. Okay? Brings us right back to Solo, a Star Wars story. Okay? And you even had this Wookiee Jedi from the Tales of the Old Republic novels.
Right.
The Tales of Light in this Wookiee Jedi named Buryaga Agaburi. Okay.
Some of these
A
names.
Wookiee Jedi, one of about 3 that we've known of. Okay. He dies in the Old Republic novel, The Fallen Star. Okay.
Okay.
They find a way to bring him back in Tales of the Old Republic, Light and Life.
Got it.
Okay. So it's even done again, and Tales of the Old Republic has its fan following. Okay.
Yes.
And they didn't complain about that. No, they didn't complain about that at all.
They did not.
Of course, unfortunately, they had a bit to complain about when they brought some of these other characters to life on Star Wars The Acolyte, which is another
discussion.
Yes, another discussion entirely. So, Bob Iger, this is a formula that has worked time and time again for Star Wars and other franchises.
So, by my count so far, there's 3 different ways that you can revive Star Wars character, or maybe 4 or 5. Like you can, magic,
Yes.
cloning,
Mm-hmm.
machinery.
Yep.
They somehow magically escape the situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the Force.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, and when you think about this, too, when you think about Anakin Skywalker's origin story, how he was essentially created by the Force. If the Force is that powerful, then you can use it to revive people.
Yes.
Okay?
The Force pretty much has its way at the end of the day. The Force fights back.
It does.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. The creation of Anakin Skywalker was the Force striking back against the dark side.
I also feel like that I would be remiss if I did not mention that there has been speculation of bringing back Mace Windu. And, we believe that he's like for sure dead. And, he went out like a badass hero.
Yeah.
But he still could be bought back. We don't know.
Oh, yes.
And I would definitely accept it. I would love to see Sam Jackson again as Mace Windu.
Yeah, Sam Jackson himself has been going around saying that Mace Windu isn't dead. Sam Jackson wants to come back, and Bob Iger, I don't think he'd ask for a big payday for it neither.
No.
And I'd be shocked if Adam Driver would have been asking for a big payday to do this. He poured his heart and his soul into this project, along with his partners.
Yes. Is that your last examples of characters that have come back?
Yeah. Plenty. I've laid out quite a case
soap
for
operas,
bringing back Ben Solo.
Soap operas have been doing this too for years. People get amnesia, they get lost, and they come back, or they magically escape explosions. It's all been done on soap operas.
The bottom line is, if you make fans happy by bringing back a character they didn't want to lose, they're going to give up their money, Bob. It's like, and another subject, this pet peeve of mine, okay? All the action figures that are being made by Hasbro Toys, okay, where you have these, as you can say, these updated versions of Luke, these updated versions of Leia, these updated versions of Darth Vader, updated versions of Chewbacca, updated versions of Han Solo, okay? Where's my Ben Solo, Hasbro? Where's my Ben Solo, Bob? Not one action figure of Ben Solo.
Not one?
A Pops figure.
That's it?
I have that. I got that figure. I grabbed that with both hands the moment I saw it at GameStop. Okay? Here's another hint, Bob Iger. The Ben Solo Pops figures, they never went to clearance, Bob. They sold out when they hit the shelves, Bob. Don't you understand money, Bob?
I really kind of feel like at a certain point, these powerful people maybe they don't understand money because, like, at a certain point, it feels like they're shooting themselves in the foot.
At some point, they elevate so high in society that they lose touch.
Right. Yes.
And it's my belief that Bob Iger has lost touch with Star Wars fans.
I'm going to put this out there. I think that Bob Iger might wind up being, metaphorically, mind you, I don't think it's going to completely go away, but I think that Bob Iger is going to kill Disney. He's already doing it.
They brought him in to save Disney, and that might not be what happens.
So they should do to him what those people did to Homer Stokes at the end of Oh Brother Where Art Thou and run him out on the rail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for what you've done, but it's time for you to go.
It is time for you to go.
That line has been uttered by many a corporation.
It has been.
To people who contributed to growth and did well for the corporation, but at some point, of course, they outlived their usefulness.
Yes.
And it's time to retire. Time
also,
to do or do something else, Bob.
Yeah.
If you don't want to really grab the helm and take some chances on Star Wars anymore, maybe you shouldn't be in that position anymore.
Yes, and I just want to point out that these Star Wars movies, so I am a person, I enjoy the prequels generally. Love the original trilogy. I am lukewarm on the sequels. I enjoyed The Force Awakens. This might be controversial to some people, but I like The Last Jedi. But The Rise of Skywalker had issues, right? The biggest unfortunate issue was the
loss of Carrie Fisher.
The loss of Carrie Fisher at just the worst possible time. Not that it's ever a good time, but she didn't get to finish her role in the movie, and that really was supposed to be her movie.
Yeah, the plan was to give the three central legacy characters their own movie.
Yeah,
Han Solo, for the first one, Luke Skywalker the second one, Princess Leia for the third one.
But beyond that, initially when Rogue One came out, I didn't like it very much, and I wanted to like it, but I did not. But then what happened? Andor came out, and I licked that up like a kitten with a bowl of cream. I loved Andor, and I went back and rewatched Rogue One, and I found a deeper context and a new appreciation. I wound up enjoying Rogue One.
Yeah, Star Wars managed to take a throwaway character and give him one hell of a backstory to make Rogue One a greater movie than it already was.
I would take a prestige TV show about Ben Solo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. A Ben Solo movie or a Ben Solo TV show could help to strengthen the rise of Skywalker.
It really
the way what Andor did for Rogue One.
Yes, and I think that a Ben Solo movie would help me like the Rise of Skywalker more.
Yes, yeah, because the character Ben Solo needs more character development than a comic book prequel.
Yes, he does. Very much so.
That's a disservice to the fans, and that's a disservice to the actor as well.
And the character, because, when you think about Star Wars, okay, you think of Han, Luke, and Leia, you think about the trio, right? So, with two of those characters creating a character together, because, Leia and Han are Ben Solo's parents. So you're taking these legacy characters, you had them create another character that could be a legacy character, one that could resonate for decades down the line, much in the same way that we regard that original trio, right?
Yeah.
And they're just missing the opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a lost opportunity. Bob Iger, I want my Ben Solo figure. I want my Ben Solo lightsaber. I want my Ben Solo movie. I want my Ben Solo TV show. Whatever you can deliver on Ben Solo, Bob Iger, please deliver it to the fans because we are begging you for it.
Maybe he'll send you like a little popsicle stick figure with like an Adam Driver paper face on it. You're like, he cuts it out and glues it on the popsicle stick and goes, "Here's your Ben Solo figure."
Yeah. Yes. We deserve more than the Pops Ben Solo figure, which Pops did a good job on.
Yeah,
They really did.
and I do collect Pops figures. Not as seriously as you collect Star Wars figures, but yeah, you now Pops figures for me, the attraction is that generally they make those when nobody else is making them. And that's kind of my fear here, is that that Pops figure might signal that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in a spooky kind of way.
I certainly hope not. Bob, are you listening? Give us more Ben Solo, damn it.
Yeah, I mean this loss of this opportunity for the hunt for Ben Solo, it's actually diminished my enthusiasm for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie and for the upcoming Starfighter movie.
Which is,
as of
yeah.
right now, I don't, for the first time ever, I don't feel like going out to see a Star Wars movie that's going to be out in about 7 months.
Yeah, and that is a shame because, usually I'm very excited for a Star Wars movie.
A Star Wars movie is a box office event.
So are we done with our topic du jour of the day, or do you have anything else to add?
Oh, yeah, we've beaten the dead Tauntaun. Yes.
But how good do they smell on the inside?
Ooh. Ugh.
All right, are you ready to...
I can imagine. Ugh. Yeah.
Are you ready to go into Fossil Feed and discuss what has been entertaining us this week?
Sure.
So for me, it's the time of year. It's late autumn. We're almost into winter. So that means Taylor Swift's Evermore has been a nice album to listen to right now. I've also been digging into a lot of Celtic folklore music lately. It's been very soothing, beautiful vocals, especially by Lorena McKinnon, who I think I mentioned this to you, Brian, that when Lorena McKinnon was a new artist, um, she was physically making tapes in her house and delivering the singles to her fans. It's dedication.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And yes, so
it doesn't happen for most people who do that.
Yeah, I've also been looking at ballet clips, which has been a nice thing to look at. Just this beautiful world of fairy tales with dancing is the way I put it.
Yes, ballet, the first medium that gave us scores.
Yes, and one day we will do an episode on ballet scores and ballets, but that's a future episode. What about you, Brian? What has been on your feed this week? But besides YouTube.
Oh, besides the hunt for Ben Solo.
Yeah.
Such things as fans obsess over.
You obsess, really? I never knew this about you. So is that it?
It's been running quite a bit of space in my mind. That and the war in Ukraine, which I'm not gonna go into here. But with Thanksgiving coming up, I do want to say I'm very thankful for Ukraine, because what Ukraine is doing is they are quite literally fighting the forces of evil on behalf of the West.
So yes, well, I know,
and I want to go ahead and leave it right there. That's what I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving.
I do want to say that I am pro Ukraine.
Slava Ukrainia.
But that is not the end of this episode. All right, so next week's topic, we are going to be delving into Peter Jackson's masterpiece, The Lord of the Rings. And we're going to go into the music. We're going to go behind the scenes. We're going to talk about how the sets were made. All sorts of fun stuff, including the journey of how these movies were made.
a very daring journey of how they were made, because they were made back to back.
Back to back, but we will get into that next week, everybody. For now, thank you so much for joining us. And Brian, thank you for bringing the energy to this podcast. Was it cathartic for you at least to have this platform to discuss this issue?
Yes, it certainly was.
Well, I am glad that it helped you, and I hope that it helped to inform some fans too.
Yes.
Yes.
And whoever, to fellow fans out here, push when and wherever you can for the hunt for Ben Solo and Solo to a Star Wars story. They have to know what we want.
They do have
Sometimes
to know what
we have to just drag their nose straight through what we want. Sometimes we have to make them listen to us.
I bid you stand, men of the West. All right. Okay, excavators. Thank you so much for listening to us. Please like, please subscribe, please share. Tell a friend about us. Leave a comment. We hope that you have a happy Thanksgiving, and we will talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.